Hey guys, welcome back to another CYBL Today podcast here in the
Yeah,
Eastern Conference. How we feeling today? Hey Joe.
we feeling great. We feeling good. The season's over, almost over. We're about to get into the playoffs. I'm excited. I'm so pumped, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It is the most hyped time of the year, of the season,
Yeah,
and being our first season in the Eastern Conference, there is so many unexpected things.
yeah.
And we have a full season though. Like we have a full scope of a full season at our grasp that we
Yeah.
can look at now and we can assess. We can say, you know what, these like this is the full framework of work that we have for the season. So with that being said, what are your thoughts on what's your recap on this season so far?
A recap on this season, bro. Honestly, it's been a good season. I would say overall, it's been a really good season. Just the way how our volunteers here in Kingston they've adapted to their roles and like approached every situation with the right heart, the right mindset, and that truly helps, especially running something like CYBL in a new place with new people.
Yeah,
One of the things that's really essential to that is just the people who you're around because they can make or break the season. But I'm so glad that we're surrounded by great volunteers and then we're spearheaded by great leaders like yourself and Sydney, just leading us to the right way, like teaching us the right things and just instilling within us like CYBL's culture. That's
hmm
something that's really important. But
hmm
I think it's a really good season. The players that we've had and that we've been able to play with, and just to coach and to mentor in that way, that's been a great aspect of the season too. But with everything that's new, there's going to be challenges. So we have a couple of challenges this season regarding players, regarding some other situations. But what's important is that we work through it and that we
Yep,
persevere through it. And because of that,
that's it.
more experience, we're better. We're in this now. It's in the books. We have
Yeah, man.
a year in the book now, so now we can move forward with the knowledge that we now have. So that's
Yeah. Yeah, so what is your recap on the games so far this season and the regular season games as we now have we got a full framework of what the games were like so far this season as we're about to head into the playoffs now. What are some things, man, that stood out to you this in the games this season?
the games this season have been so I'd say exciting. There are some games like at the beginning of the season, every coach was getting used to their
Yeah.
players. The players themselves were getting used to each other. So I'd say the first couple like three or so games was just like a feel out kind of game,
Uh,
and after that, that's when you truly saw the athletes. That's when you saw them kind of be more comfortable with how they did a game, pass it around, communicate to each other, and everything. I'd say some games were really exciting, like to the nail.
yeah.
I like it was so close. That's been it's truly exciting for like the families and everyone to watch. Like literally every point that's scored, you would hear an eruption in the
Yeah.
court, which is cool. There also were some blowout games. Not gonna lie, there were some of
There's
those,
some Yep.
but
Yep.
I feel like every team from those games they learned from those games and they were able to come on top with the right
hmm
mentality and they took what they needed from it, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
nowadays, almost every game's close. Like you can
Almost every game's
or
close, man.
everyone's grown because
Yeah.
every game's close nowadays, which is
My
good.
goodness, man. I'm reminded of, when I think of games this season, I think for me the game that stands out the most
Mm.
had to have been the game between you guys and the Tides. That game
Yeah,
it was a defensive game,
yeah,
really
oh yeah,
strong
oh yeah,
defense game, like a 1 point victory,
exactly.
right? And it went down to the nail. Wow, man. Like you see how we pulled out the clutch three, you know, with less than was it 7 seconds left on the clock or
Exactly.
something crazy like that. And then oh man, and then they come down, they get the ball back after a turnover out of bounds
Exactly.
and a chance to actually get a shot off and they couldn't get a shot off at the end of the game there. So but
Exactly.
it was just that was an intense
So
matchup.
intense. So intense, bro.
Man.
Like on the Rockets, because I'm Rockets all day, every day. For the Rockets, I feel like that was one of the games that we truly relied on each other, right?
hmm
We relied on each other. We passed
True.
the ball around. We trusted each other, and I feel like
That's true.
that's why we came out with the W because, like you said, we're passing it really well, and then Howie 7 seconds like left, throws up an open three, and he nails it, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I just love that game. It was so close, and when he scored,
Man.
remember it was silent when he threw it up, silent, and then when
Yeah, yeah,
he fell, everyone like erupted in the court. So like it's
yeah,
games like
man.
those that are like so exciting that you love so much. You love so much.
And you had really two clutch plays in that game. You look at that one, but then you look in the first half when Abby hits the buzzer beater in the half.
Exactly.
That that was
She
crazy,
hit one
man.
before, and then she was open, so she took that shot, and it went.
Hmm.
And I feel like that in itself is like a learning session, for
Hmm.
lack of a better term, I guess, because for
Hmm.
the entire kind of season, she's been working on kind of trusting herself, being confident in taking
Yeah.
shots and trusting her teammates. And so I feel like that was the result of her trusting herself and her.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel like you're beginning to see that throughout every team now. It's
Yeah,
like it's oozing out through every team where you're actually beginning to see like these teams like beginning to all have confidence and
yeah,
trust themselves and beginning to do things that early in the season they're like, nah, you do it. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
now, now there's like every team is realizing, okay, like, we all have a strength to bring to the table now. It is really exciting to see this because obviously, as you know, being the first season, there's so many learning curves. And I think about like the first season in the Central Conference, we didn't have a podcast back then.
Yeah,
So we didn't have the ability to talk about these things. And now the things we talk about is mostly just the games and seeing the improvement
exactly.
in the play and
Exactly.
seeing like, but these are things that we get to talk about as the Eastern Conference develops. And so
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
it's really cool to like witness that and to see that. So I just want to move on here now as we talk about, we've come to the end of the regular season.
Mhm.
We've got some awards, the season awards that are going to be on display. Some of them being our MVP award. You got defensive MVP award. We've even got like a David award. I think those are three words I want to talk about to start off here. But what do you think? And the MVP, most valuable player, who do you think the race is between this season, and who would be your pick?
There's been so many. Honestly, for the season, there's been so many like options for the MVP award. Just off the top of my head, I know just Pierce on the Sharks and like Colton
Hmm.
Sharks, who's really been playing, and you could see his passion for the game as well. And then
Yeah,
you like Caleb Jeffs, and you look at other players like what's his name? Isaac, who came on like halfway through,
hmm.
and what's his name?
Isaac is really taking off, man, too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I feel like he belongs in CYBL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So cool. Look at players like Freddie as well, who's been also really playing really good throughout the season. But
yeah. Hmm.
I'd say for me, like MVP throughout the entire season, I'd say my pick would be I'd say Colton.
Bolton.
I'd
Okay,
say
that's fair.
because like with everything he had to go through with the change in the teams and all
And
that stuff,
trade.
the trade, and he still like came out on top with the right mentality. He's still doing his
Yeah,
best to help his team kind of grow in that sense and to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
feel like he would be a great candidate for the MVP for this season.
I mean, that's a great pick, man. That's a great pick. Like he's averaging 15.4 points a
Yeah,
game.
exactly.
You can't really go wrong with that. You know what I mean? Not to mention like his defense has been on point all season long too. So like when you look at him individually, like and what he's bringing to the team too, I think he has to be up there. He's also averaging 1.4 blocks a game,
Exactly. Or
4.6 rebounds, and 3.2 steals. That that for me is he's all over the place. It is going to be. I think he's in the conversation because then you also got to think about record too, right? The thing is, in like what he's done for his team to bring them up to that second seed. You know what I mean?
literally.
It's pretty crazy. You have to talk about Pierce. I think you have to because he's been a leader and he's been
Yes.
consistently putting them in situations to win.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so he's another player you got to look at. 13.7 points a game, 16 point that's for 16.7 rebounds per game, 2.4 steal. Like so, like he's another player, man. Like, man, the strikers are actually fierce. I think when we're looking at teams that are could be dangerous going
Yeah.
into the postseason, the Sharks for
Sorry.
me
Yeah.
are a
Oh, they're so
dangerous team. They have so
they're so
like it's just they've come together in such a way that we
yeah,
haven't seen.
exactly.
Um, and
Like
then yeah, it's crazy, man.
yeah, with the new addition with Colton and with
Hmm.
Stefano and Alvin, kind of like giving them not the intellect, but the plays and ideas and helping them run everything smoothly. I feel like they really have come from a long way. Like just looking back from where they started at the beginning of the season to where they are now, second seeds, like they've really gelled together and
Yeah,
they didn't let the losses kind of hinder them, but they persevered despite it all. So that's good.
0-3 start.
0-3.
You know what that reminds me of, though? It actually reminds me of back in the Central Conference, the Lions in the Central Conference had a season where they started off 0-3, and they literally then won their next three games in a row. And
Wow.
it was like, yeah, it was pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive because we're looking at it and being like, oh, are they going to be sitting on the outside looking in?
Yeah.
But like now, like,
Turned it
and
around.
I feel like I'm saying that very, very similar. And that Lions team, um, they went on to take a deep run into the playoffs that season.
Uh,
So, yeah, I think the Sharks have that chance
oh yeah.
when we talk about that. And obviously, then you have to talk about Caleb Jeffs as well. Caleb Jeffs being, a player he's almost averaging. You could say he averaged a double double. He
Yeah,
averaged
literally every game.
9.9 points, okay, and 11 rebounds. Like, okay, like there's nobody else as dominant
No.
in the Eastern Conference. Nobody else is dominant in the Eastern Conference as Caleb.
Hmm.
He is the most dominant player, I think. When you take into account his blocks, 1.3 blocks and 3.3 steals at that height, being able to steal the ball the way that he's stealing it too, very impressive.
Oh yeah.
Very impressive to witness what we're witnessing. We go down this list. We could look at a few. We could look at a few other players like Ben Lloyd on your team.
Yes, exactly.
Man, he's another player in the
Oh
MVP
yeah.
conversation.
Oh yeah.
He's got to be averaging 13.8 points
Yep.
a game, 8.4 rebounds per game. Okay, 1.4 steals. Like he is literally your like he's your cornerstone in the paint on
Yeah.
the Rockets. He's a
Exactly.
cornerstone in the paint. So he's definitely another one to look at. And I mean,
Hundred
it's kind of
percent.
cool to see. It's kind of cool to see that, like, I guess the MVPs that we're looking at here, a lot of them are on both ends of the ball. Like, we're
Mm-hmm.
not just talking about,
Oh
they're
yeah.
not just
Often.
offensively to both ends.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. Let's move into now. I was talking about defense. We'll move into the defensive MVP, bro.
Mm.
Who would you say you look at as your forerunners in the defensive MVP?
I'd say I'd say defensive MVP. It's kind of he's made sure that he is the top person in there. Everyone's not close. I'd say it's Caleb Jeffs, honestly.
Yeah,
Like you see how he is on the defensive aspect of things. With
crazy.
his steals, his rebounding, averaging like almost double double. Like that
Yeah.
was crazy. And like even on the court too with like but yeah, sorry, steals, 3.3 steals, 11 rebounds per game. It's like, and when looking at the game, he really has that presence
Mm-hmm.
right? When he's
Yeah.
in the paint, you could tell
Yeah.
players change the way how they play or they adjust their plays to kind of avoid Caleb in the paint. So like, it's kind of a no brainer for me that Caleb Jeff is like the top nominee for the defensive MVP award.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree too. I think, I mean, if you had to put a contest between the players, I would say are forerunners. I'd say it's Caleb, then it's Colton. That's what then I would say,
Yeah,
and then I would say it's everybody else. But that's what I think that's what we're looking at when we're talking about
yeah,
the impact that they make on the defensive side of the ball.
yeah,
It literally is game changing, and
yeah,
that's what you want to see. Like you want to be able to see players that you know they literally are able to because we know defense wins championships, and so
yeah.
it's like you want to be able to impact the game. Like how can you get a team to feel uncomfortable? And and they make teams feel uncomfortable. Caleb makes them feel uncomfortable in the paint. Colton makes them feel uncomfortable on
Yeah,
the perimeter. So it's like they're literally changing the game. So I think I would definitely have to say those two players.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
the last award that I want to talk about, the David Award, because that goes to the player, the best player statistically in a 5-5 or under. And so when we look at that award, David Award, literally, we talking about it, and it literally is supposed to embody, David in the Bible, who literally takes down Goliath. You know what I mean? And so, who do you think are your forerunners in that category when you think about
For me, I think on my team, 5-5. Double check if they're on the 5-5. I'm not sure.
safe?
Yeah, safe exactly was I going to mention on the Rockets.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah, yeah,
that award. The way how he played, especially was it the game played against the Sharks, I think. Yeah, we
yeah,
played against the
yeah.
Sharks. Like him, Howie. That's another game that everyone stepped up. Safe really,
Yes,
even though he's not the tallest, he would drive
yeah.
the paint without like
It does
hesitation
not
and
care.
throw it up, and he would make it too. And I'm
It
like,
does
man,
not
that
care.
just shows heart, you know. Like despite your height, you're not letting that affect how you play the game or
Hmm.
love for the game. So I would say safe is definitely up there for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I would agree too. I think safe is one of the ones you got to put up there. I would also say Dane.
Dane,
Dane is another one. You got to look at Dane. He's a versatile player. I really like his game. I'm not gonna lie.
he's
He's a
got
left-handed.
too.
Yeah, he's a left-handed player. He can do a lot, man.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? We're talking like he could take the three, he could shoot the three, and he makes it quite often with that high arcing shot, man.
exactly.
It's pretty impressive. So I
Yeah,
look at Dane, I see that he's averaging 7.0 points a game. So
yeah,
7 points
exactly.
a game,
Two
two
rebounds,
points,
point
two
six
point six
rebounds.
rebounds.
That's
It's a
crazy right there.
very impressive, very impressive.
Yeah,
Almost 0.8 steals, but it's almost a steal per game. So I'm looking at that and I'm going like, okay, he has to be my number one pick. I think he's
yeah,
my number one pick for the David Award. I mean, it could be up for grabs. I think there's it could be up for grabs, but that's what definitely I would say just looking at it, bro. But yeah, there's so many impressive things to just note as we're in obviously our first season here in the Eastern Conference. Not as many awards as in the Central Conference, but we do have, we have some things to look at and to
yeah.
be like,
No,
okay,
we do
like wow, what could happen? So much could happen, bro.
exactly. A
So
lot
much could happen, bro.
happened.
So much could happen, man.
Yeah,
So let's take that. Let's take that anything could happen conversation into some team shout outs. And let's just shout out some of those teams, man, that have been, we've seen the growth in the development
yeah.
and just seen them stand out in the second half of the season.
Mm.
I think we've talked a little bit about some of them, but what would you say, bro? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say like just to start off with my team, the Rockets. I feel
Hmm.
like we have grown so much as a team over the season, which is so commendable because we even throughout the ending of the season we went on like a cold streak, went on like 3 game losing streak, but then
Yeah.
we kind of got together. We didn't allow the losing streaks to kind of get to our heads, but we just persevered together as a whole and played together as a whole. And as a result of that, we came on top with the W last game, right? Next, I'd say the Tides too. They've also they didn't have the best start, right? Starting
Oh,
they didn't have the best start, but then with a couple trades and the right mindset,
it's impressive. Yeah.
they come to every game giving it their all, and as a result of that, they started to win a lot of games too, which is quite commendable because they really are showing up in
Yeah.
the game, right? They're doing
Yeah.
that, and their best is really good because to the point that at this point going into the playoffs, it's like they could probably come out on top. You know, if
Yeah.
they could probably come out on top, that may be a hot take,
Yeah.
but
It's a hot take, bro. It's a hot take.
I just say, but and then I'd say for the Royals too, you guys have also grown a lot too,
Hmm.
especially on
Hmm.
the defensive end. I'd say you guys are like the best defensive team right now, just because of that teamwork, right? That
Hmm.
teamwork together on the defensive end of the game, which is really good. Um, and the Sharks, bro. The Sharks we've spoke about it a bit earlier too, but they have come from such a long way.
My
And they have
goodness, bro.
shown that it
My
doesn't matter
goodness.
how you start; it's how you finish.
How you
That's what
finish?
they've proven this season. So
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah,
all of our teams have grown so much this season. It's so great to see how
yeah,
they grow not only in the game of basketball but in life in general, growing as
yeah.
together. So that's
There
great.
is a lot. There is a lot to see and to look at
Yeah,
that stands out when you look at these teams. I totally agree with you 100%. Looking at the way that these teams have grown, like you've just seen the growth over the course of the season. The Tides is a scary team too. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
we beat them in the last game, but like they're still scary. I
yeah.
think they have a lot of firepower now, and they've come together in such a way. I think for them, I think the next step is going to be like just focusing on what we can do to build our team chemistry, what we
Yeah.
can do to get everybody involved
Hmm.
and to recognize everybody's strong suits. I
Yeah.
think that's the next step for them because if they can unlock that coming into this
Yeah.
playoffs, man, I don't
Exactly.
know what could happen, bro. They like there could be an upset. There could be an upset. It's possible, but I mean, ultimately, I see us going all the way. We don't know, and I don't know. It could happen. It could happen. You don't know. I look at you guys too,
Mm,
and I see the growth. Same thing. What I was talking about that I want to see from the Tides is
mm,
something that I feel like we're seeing from you. We're
mm,
seeing that like that team chemistry, that team belief in each other, and
mm.
growth together, and the teamwork that's taking place together. The unity that's starting to take place on the court. The trust in each other, which is like so key. And I think that could there's definitely a shot at upsetting the Sharks with that because if I look at it right now, the Sharks are definitely the favorites in that matchup because because of the fact of how they've all come together too.
Mm.
But like there's definitely it's going to be very, very intense, man, going into the playoffs, bro.
You know what? As a rocket from the heart, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Doesn't matter if the Sharks. It doesn't matter if it's the Sharks,
Yeah.
Top Hearts, or Car Parks.
Crazy. That is crazy.
Rockets in five,
That's
all
so
the way, baby.
Oh my god, I can't with you, bro. That's crazy, man. Oh my goodness. Sharks top tarts, hard parts making that's wild. Wow.
Rockets in five,
Oh my goodness, bro. Wow. Well, let's see what happens, man. Let's see
all the
if you
way,
guys
all
can
the way.
pull it up. That is, oh man, you just brought so much humor to this podcast. That's one of the Shannon Shark out here, bro.
Unk real quick. Yes,
Oh my
sir.
goodness. So, what do we think now? We're going into playoff picture. Playoff picture. We got our brackets all ready to go. Eastern Conference, we look at it, right now, Royals against Tide.
Mm,
You then got the Sharks playing the Rockets, and then you've got obviously the road to the OCC,
mm,
bro. And the thing about the Eastern Conference is right now there's only four teams,
yeah,
so two teams automatically that win
yeah,
are entered in
yeah.
to the OCC.
That's true.
So
That's true. That's true.
what what's your prediction, bro? What's your
My prediction.
prediction?
You know what? Rock. Of course, I gotta say
Rockets at
that
five, he
Rockets
says.
in five. Rockets in five. I believe that we can do it. Right. I
Mm-hmm,
believe 100% that we have we have what it takes to get there. We just
mm-hmm.
continue to rely on each other, to trust in each other, and yeah, I believe we'll get there.
Yeah,
On a overall arching view of CYBL, I'd say, just looking at the stats, you could say that the Royals definitely are in there in that category.
mm-hmm.
They win to be able to participate in the OCC as well as, I mean, I'd say the Rockets, the Royals and the Rockets, right? My pick. That's my pick. But I can see that some people may say Royals and Sharks.
Yeah, yeah. My goodness,
That's a
bro.
biased take, but
Hey, it's a take. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. I think for me, when I look, I gotta say. So I'll tell you what my heart said,
yeah.
and I'll tell you what I am predicting.
Okay.
I want to say, I'm predicting. I could see us. I could see us going up on top, and I could also see the Sharks going on top as well, right? And then for third place matchup, because we got to talk about the third place matchup too, between you and the Rockets. Man. That's tough. If I'm gonna say the Tides take that one, bro. I would say the Tides. They have a fire lit under them too because of that 1 point loss, bro. And I could see them coming out with fire to get that bronze medal.
Mm-hmm.
But that is my take, bro. Again, and I'm gonna say we come out with the gold. But but if the Sharks have as just amount of much of a chance as we do, I am. If there's a team that keeps me awake at night, it is the Sharks
The
teeth,
Sharks.
bro. You know what I'm saying? They are looking unbelievably locked in,
Yeah, I agree.
unbelievably locked in. Like I could even see them. Like I'm gonna be on. This is a hot take. This is a hot take because
Mm-hmm.
we're talking OCC now. You know what I'm saying?
OCT, yeah, yeah.
I could see them either getting the second or third in the OCC
Mm,
because they have a lot they have a lot of firepower, a lot of
yeah,
passion.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's That's true. That's definitely something that to me like that stands out with the Sharks too. Their passion,
Hmm.
their firepower, because they're not like a one person spearheading the team, but
Hmm.
everyone's pushing forward, right?
Yes.
Everyone's coming
Yes.
with the passion on both ends of the court. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that take. I agree with that take.
Mhm. That would be my thoughts on that team.
Mm,
And then what I want to say is like some X factors that could be at play here that could change things. I'm going to say this. I think for the Tides,
mm,
an X factor for them, I think is going to be really utilizing the full team. I
mm,
think you utilize that full team, every aspect of it to the full degree.
mm,
That's an X factor. You could upset us. You could upset the Royals.
mm.
You could get to the final. I think the X factor for them is how well they're able to utilize their
Together,
whole unit
yeah.
for them. For the Royals, for ourselves, I think what our X factor is because I think that's something we've grown in and we're actually getting better in. For us, I would say that our X factor is actually being able to start off hot.
Mm,
Because the struggle with the Royals and what we've had as a struggle this season is just being able to start off well. We end well, we kind of like make our way back into the games, but like we don't always start well. So like that would I'd be like if we're able to start well, we can sustain it and I think we can pull it out. And so I would say what would you say about the Sharks and the and you guys, the Rockets?
the Sharks, yeah. I mean, the Sharks have been playing a really good game, especially towards the end of this season. I'd say, yeah, for them to just continually use everyone, like you said, like just working together, which is what they've improved on a lot too with Colton, with Pierce, with
Yeah.
Don. Like all of them, they worked together for one goal, but. For them, the goal would be to use their bench players as well, right? The players coming off the bench. Like I think
Yeah.
that. And I remember playing when we played against the Sharks. You really got hot for those threes, those high arcing threes, and so
Hmm.
yeah, I'd say their X factor would be just to even more so together on defense, especially on defense as well. Yeah, and then for the Rockets, I feel like we have to trust. Our X factor would be the same thing, working together as a team, which you could say argues the same X factor for all teams, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the X factor for us because I do believe that we have the skills that it take. We just need to trust in each other as well as ourselves,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like in the last couple of games, that's something that I realized we need to kind of brush up on, just trusting in each other as well as ourselves. So I believe that as long as that's there and making the shots, we can stand a chance against
Yeah.
the Eastern Conference. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed, bro. Agreed. That's a good take. I think that there's a lot of there's just a lot of things that can fall in play here. I don't know what's gonna happen, bro. Like this is
Yeah.
everything to me is really like up in the air right now
That
in terms of what will actually happen. We have our predictions, but they could be completely wrong. We could see the Tides and Rockets in, what I mean, the finals. So we can see the Sharks and Tides and Sharks and it could be any which
100%.
way right now at this point. Um and I just don't know. It's gonna be intense.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm
And
excited, bro.
it's great to not be able to predict what's going to happen.
Yeah,
That
it
makes
is.
excitement, right? If we would
Yeah,
know
that's what it is.
would be on top, it would be that exciting,
I
right?
wouldn't be
It's
that
good.
excited.
It's good that like we have our predictions, but still, there's no way of really saying who's gonna win on the
No, not really. No, as long as everybody shows up, that's
exactly,
what we need. So,
exactly.
guys, if y'all watching this pod, show
Please,
up. Make sure you show up, please.
please show up, guys.
We want to make this
Love
an
you.
exciting and hype
Yes,
playoff, man.
yes, yes.
And I think going into as we kind of wind down this pod today, what are some for you? What are some top moments for you this season? Just either in just specific plays that have taken place, moments in the game. What are some top moments for you that you've seen this season?
I'd say one of the top moments that happened recently was us versus the Tides and that game winner. That game
Yeah.
winner against how he hit that game winner against the Tides. That moment, it was so hyped. Like I could see it right now if I close my. It was one of the hypest moments I'd say for especially for our team in this.
Hmm.
Another like really great moment. The game that you guys had against the Sharks, the first
Mm,
one of the two, I think, during the end of the season. I just remember you could cut the tension with a knife. Everyone was locked in. Everyone was like passionate about the game. It was so intense, which was so good too. And just watching the game, it was so exciting to see. It
yeah,
was so close too. Every
it
point
was so
board, the audience were cheering their like throats out, like support
close.
the kids and everything. And I feel like that game as a whole was just a really good, intense game that was so exciting to watch. I feel like this season.
That's
That's
good, man.
a highlight for me.
I like that. I like that. I would say going and like I actually agree with both of those as some top moments. I think if I had to look at a few other top moments that I would say for me, it would be when we saw Isaac kind of go off in that game. I think that was like their second W. Was it against you guys? I think it was against you guys because you guys split the series 1-1, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the first game against you guys, watching the way that like he was dominating, it was pretty crazy. I think also Caleb's dominating game last
yeah,
game was
yeah.
impressive.
That's
Impressive.
really good too. Yeah,
Tristan had an
yeah.
impressive game too.
Oh
He
yeah,
dropped 26 points in that game as well. He was it was very impressive. For me, I would say like the second half of the season has intensified
yeah,
so much.
yeah,
And you put that in contrast with the first half of the season,
yeah.
everything's being adjusted. But
Exactly.
now, if you're in the second half of the season, I feel like, man, there's been so many top moments, top performances. From that to even like blocks that we've seen, like
Blocks.
some
Oh yeah.
crazy, crazy, crazy blocks we've seen from Caleb or from Colton. Oh, there was one play I think I remember from Pierce, man. He has this fake that he
Oh
does.
yeah. Oh, that fake.
He's got he's got this Euro step that he does that it gets you every single time. Like
Single.
everybody jumps at it every
Yeah,
single time. He's got
yeah,
this fake. He just goes. It's like a Euro step, but he just goes. He fakes. He
exactly.
comes back. Everybody every single time he
Yeah,
gets you, man. So this is.
100%. It just goes to show how smart he is, like playing basketball. Like
Mm-hmm.
even I remember playing against the Royals too. Like there would be a fast break for the Sharks. He would be heading down, but he would know that Caleb's right behind him, right? But he would throw in the fakes for it, pump fake, and then fall for it, and he would go up. So it's like
His
just
IQ.
little fakes like that causes the other defensive player to kind of fall for it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
really good at those. He's really good at.
yeah. No, his IQ is on point, man. So it's gonna be a test, man. I guess we have that for the playoffs. There's some real things to really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we got into the very end of our curriculum on God being our champion, and that's been really, I think, a huge win when you recognize that he's a champion, that
Oh yeah,
he's won it all for you, and that you can, we talked about freedom, how we can be free, because of what Jesus has done for us, that he paid a price on the cross so that we could actually have not just our salvation, but freedom here on earth. And so I think that is also something to rejoice in, to get excited for, and that, every player can take with them outside of
exactly,
basketball. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, it's
So
bigger than basketball. Like what you said.
bigger.
Like I feel like the growth of each and every individual player.
Hmm.
Yes, they've grown a lot in basketball and their skill. But one thing that I'd say contributed to that growth is these
Yeah.
devotions that we would have,
Yes.
showing them that Jesus is a champion of freedom, champion of salvation. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
showing them who God is, who Jesus is, and in the person that He can come and help you, right, into every situation that you invite Him in. And I feel like a lot of the kids have done that. You can see that growth
Hmm.
in their personal life, but like on the court as well.
On
So
the court too. Yeah,
that
no,
was
that's good, man.
see, bro.
So exciting, man. So many exciting things here, guys, here at the CYBL. We're coming to the end of this pod now. We thank you for tuning in and listening and watching. And man, we look forward to an exciting playoffs.
Yes,
If
sir.
you are in the Kingston area, come down to Rio Heights Community Center.
Yeah,
Get hyped with us, get excited with us, enjoy with us. It's going to be a good time. We
great.
also want to let you know we are going to be back with an OCC podcast with myself, Adriel, and Alan on the pod as well. And it's going to be a good one. You want to stay tuned for that one. It'll probably be up at the end of the month. So, all right, guys. Well, we just want to say take care. We love you guys. God bless you guys. And remember that Jesus is our champion.
Amen. Amen. Have a great day, guys. Love you. Peace.